Hi and welcome to 5 Minutes with Kvesti. This time I want to talk about Shadowrun Returns. It's a role-playing game slash interactive novel. I say this because it felt like those books where you select your own adventure by going to page X if you choose option 1 and going to page Y if you choose option 2. There's a lot of reading and something other things also reminded me of those books where you choose your own adventure. It also reminded me a lot of first two Fallout games, not only because isometric view and turn-based combat. There were some other things that reminded me of first two Fallout games, and that's always a good thing. In this game you are a Shadowrunner who is trying to figure out who killed your friend. You are investigating his death and that takes you to this new adventure. Shadowrunners are a mix between criminals and agents. They do break into places and do espionage things, and I'm not completely sure what they exactly are. They are somewhere between legal and illegal. Maybe more into illegal things. Game looks a lot like role-playing games, but I have hard time calling it role-playing game. You don't have too many options you can do. You are running in this pipe and you get only what the game wants to give you. There's no random loot or anything like that. You can't grind anything. Game just gives you what it thinks you need at this point of the game, and all your options, whatever you select, may not change the game in any way. There were a couple choices I thought I will hear later, but I never heard about those choices again. Game gave you a choice where you can make a choice that felt like big choice, but it never got back to that choice. My main problem with the game was that you didn't have your own group. At the beginning of the game it felt like you will get this group because these people will become your friends and you do all these missions with them. But then this changes and you have to buy your group for each mission. Your companions don't come free. In some early missions you get free companions, but later in the game you have to buy your companions for this mission. Or should I say buy your team for each mission. And it's for each mission with the money that is very limited, and you have to use this money also to pay first aid kits, and then some magics cost money, and some magic use some items that cost money, and this is balancing. Do you want really good team? Not exactly do you want to really good team, because each person costs almost the same amount. There are some cheaper and some more expensive team members, but they cost all money and you have to choose, do you want full team or do you want to improve your character and buy these items that you use during the mission. Few times I had to sell my items to get the full team for the mission, and I didn't like that at all. I could live with that because game was good otherwise. This combat mechanics works, story was interesting even though it got pretty weird at the end, but it was interesting and kept me hooked, and all the game mechanics were good and I liked them. There was one enemy type, I'm not sure if it was clever or annoying. I can't tell that in this video because it's kind of spoiler, but if you have played this game, you know which enemy type I'm talking about. Game is quite straightforward. You have limited choices you can make. You have some puzzles, but those are quite easy when you just take every item you can interact with, and game shows you those items quite often. And if game doesn't show those items, you can press Alt and then you see all those items. And I didn't stuck into anywhere except in the final battle until I figured out what I should do and what tactic wins the final boss. And in another mission there was one thing that I didn't figure out right away, but otherwise it was quite straightforward. I played this with easy difficulty, which was quite good balance between not needing to learn the game and giving enough challenge. Sometimes I had to learn a little bit about these classes and how to use certain kind of magic, but most of the time it gave just enough challenge that I didn't need to really learn the game. Which was okay because I want that kind of challenge. I will check other Shadowrun games. This was first, then there's Dragonfall, which I will play next, and Hong Kong, which I will also play and make video about. This was nice game. It's not the perfect game, but if you are into this cyberpunk futuristic role-playing game, it's a good game to check. That was it for this time. See you next time.